There's some type of plastic on the windows up there to stop the rain getting in, but we can see here that we've got some type of police tape that says do not pass the civil guard. So maybe something interesting has gone on here in the past. Amigos, hola, Stuart here with another video, a walk around video in a small town here in the Madrid community called Valdaracete. And if you've never heard of that town, don't worry, because I reckon that the majority of people here in Spain haven't heard of this town either. It's one of these towns where there's more cats than people, so that's what we're going to do today, have a look around. And the first thing that I'm going to say is that this is a very, very quiet town indeed. I can't see anybody. I've only seen one person walking around so far. So that's why I reckon there's going to be more cats than people in this town. And looking at some of the buildings that we've got here, not much going on. I think there's a church up there, so we'll go and check that out. And we'll also see if there's a bar, and there's my first cat. So hopefully we will see more people than cats here, but I'm not optimistic. Now, to give you an idea of what we've got in this town, we've got the square, the Constitution Square, we've got a church, we've got a hermitage, the Virgin of the Pedra, whatever that is, and also we have a monument to San Cristobal. In front of me here there is a school, not sure how many kids there would be in this town, and we've got an idea of some of the things that you can do in this area, Valdaracete, and the graffiti artists have been here, but I reckon that there's walking tracks, biking tracks around this area, and people would come to this town at weekends and do those activities. There might even be some rural accommodation here, but not sure. Now we'll turn the camera around. This is the main street, so I can see some people over there. They seem to be council workers, maybe on their break, having a smoko, cleaning the park, not sure. But are we going to find a bar in this town? That's also a question that I'm asking myself. I think I saw on Google Maps that there is one, but no restaurants, nothing more than one solitary bar, I think. So we've got the Constitution Square and the Town Hall, and also the Church of San Juan Bautista up this street here. Let's go. Now, to give you an idea of where I am geographically, around an hour southeast of Madrid, just off the Valencia highway, you can find this small town here. Difficult to get to. The roads are very narrow, and you'll quite often come across tractors on the roads as well. So getting here by car, not easy. There's no rail here, and maybe there's a bus, not sure. Haven't seen any buses or bus stops so far, but getting to and from these cities, not easy if you don't have a car. Now, I've already spotted something interesting in this property here. I reckon it's abandoned. Not sure if anybody's living in there, maybe squatters. There's some type of plastic on the windows up there to stop the rain getting in, but we can see here that we've got some type of police tape that says do not pass the civil guard. So maybe something interesting has gone on here in the past. To be honest, I do not know. Maybe I can look it up in the press and see if anything has happened recently, but maybe it was a crime scene. Don't know. So a mystery in this town, Valdaracete. Now we'll check out the architecture. This is the main square. So we can see there, Plaza de la Constitución, so Constitution Square. We've also got a sign here telling us, or some type of artwork telling us exactly where we are. That's the town hall building in front of us there with the big pink ribbon. So maybe there's been some domestic violence here, not sure. And this place here, I reckon there's been a fire in here. That could be why there was police tape on the other side of the building. The mystery continues. But just looking around here, I would say that this house here is abandoned. I would say that this house here is also abandoned. So there is a lot of abandonment in this town. There's something there with the Spanish flag, not sure exactly what it is, but it must be some type of public service. Let's see. Oh, it says that it's a shopping centre, so that's interesting. Shopping centre there, some people just coming out. I don't want to film too many people, don't like filming people. So from here, I'm going to go up the main strip here, past the town hall building. Let's have a look at this one here. What does that say? Nothing much, just recognizing one of the citizens. So this was probably some type of council building or maybe a public building, not sure, but it's been burnt out. So when the fire came through here, I don't know. All right, Calle del Horno, Oven Street. Interesting names. Now we seem to have some more modern housing up there. Well, I say modern, you get the idea, right? And here we have a place where the youth of the town can congregate. Local joven. The sun's just come out. Someone's in a hurry there, beeping the horn. And a house for sale. So what would you pay for a house in this part of Spain? To live in a town like this? I've got no idea, but I reckon it wouldn't be all that expensive. Let's continue walking. So the population of this town, I think I mentioned it, 600 people, and I would say that everybody in this town knows each other. Probably a close-knit community. Maybe over the last 10 years or so, the demographics have changed a little bit with immigration. Maybe some of the locals have moved out, gone to live in Madrid, and some people from other countries have come here seeking cheap accommodation, because let's be honest, the price of accommodation in the capital city, Madrid, is through the roof, and you could still find cheaper accommodation in a place like this. Hop on the bus every day, go to the main city, do your job, come home, pay cheaper rent. And I would also say that a lot of these homes here would be weekend homes for people that live in the capital city, Madrid, spend their weekends here in a quieter place. Guard dogs. Now, this is the church. Let's have a look. I will say it's a pretty impressive building for such a small town. And I would say that it has something to do with the history of this town. The population back in the day was probably a lot bigger than it is now. Let's see. So the St. John the Baptist Church, Iglesia San Juan Bautista, name of the town there again. We can also see here a little bit of the history. So the church is a majestic example of Renaissance architecture from the 16th century, is that? I think that is correct if my Roman numerals are right. And the person who designed this church, Juan de Herrera, possibly, it says here, also designed the El Escorial Monastery, which is one of the most emblematic buildings in the entire country. So if that is true, wowee. And there must be something behind that story, because the design of this building here is quite impressive. And maybe there is some truth to that theory that the same person designed both buildings. Don't know. And this is the kind of place where nothing seems to happen, at least from Monday to Friday. Weekends, as I said, probably a different story when people from Madrid come here, spend the weekends. Also, when the local festivals are on, I imagine the place is quite lively, but Monday to Friday, any other time of the year, not much going on. I'm just going to change the angle of the camera because I'm being spied on by one of the locals from a window up there. So obviously curious to know what a foreigner is doing in this town here, the typical giddy walking around and filming. And he must be flipping out right now, seeing me down here sitting outside the church filming, because I reckon that doesn't happen too often, but I could be wrong. Now, seeing that burnt out house just down the street has sparked my curiosity, so I've gone online and I found an article here. Indeed, there was a fire in this town earlier this year. We can see the headline here in the local press: distressing rescue in the fire of a house in Valdaracete. I couldn't get out because of the bars on the windows, says the person who was seriously injured. The man is 74 years old and has suffered burns on 40% of his body. The agents embedded their car against the garage door to enter the house and help Francisco, the person who was in that town. So dramas in the town, and we can also see a picture here of the house that I showed you guys a few minutes ago. So second and third degree burns, and as I said, 40% of his body surface burnt. So an interesting lesson to be learnt there. Bars on the windows, which are very, very common in this part of Spain. I'm not sure around the whole country whether you see lots of bars on windows of people's homes, but here, very, very common. Trying to keep the thieves out, but also not letting the owner of the home get out in the fire, in the event of fire. So distressing. Now, we'll continue with our look around this church area here because I'm going to be honest, there's not much to see in this town. But we can see here that it says prohibited to walk your dog around this area here. So you're not allowed to walk your dog around this church area here for some reason. Maybe it's because people don't pick up after their dogs. Don't know why. So let's go for a walk around the back here and see what's going on. There's a picnic table up here. And I'm not really sure what's going on with this building here. Also seems to have been abandoned. But the picnic table, interesting. And somebody's growing corn, is it? Don't know. Strange. And around the back of the church, let's have a look. Get an idea of the surroundings of this town here. Hills, probably a farming activity going on. There's a cemetery down there, I can see, and people have been dumping their waste, fly tipping here. And the shutters over there on the annex of the church almost falling off in the strong winds that we have today. So a curious little town here with a story to tell, at least this year, with that fire ripping through the home in the most important part of this town, the main square. Wow. Now let's continue the walk, see what else we have in this town here. I'm on the outskirts of the town at the moment. As you can probably guess, the church that I have behind me, bang smack on the outskirts. So let's go deep into this tiny little town. Let's go. Now here's the first little yappy dog, another little yappy dog there. And walking through these quiet streets, there must be some activity because there are cars parked here. Most homes seem to have a car out the front, so people living in these homes, you can see by the way that they have been done up. The outsides of the home have been done up, so obviously people living in them. But when you come to a town like this, the lack of services is the first thing that stands out for me. No shops, no restaurant, absolutely nothing, only the town hall. But what I will say about these small towns, lots of the small towns that I have been visiting in recent times, is that they still seem authentic, the true Spain. And of course, this is the Spain that 99% of tourists that visit this country would never see. And you could ask the question, why would you want to see this? Why would you want to come to a town like this when you can go to the Costa del Sol, when you can go to Valencia, when you can go to Barcelona, when you can go to Madrid? Why would you want to come here? Well, this is the authentic part of the country, the part of the country that time has forgotten. And the most modern things in these towns are the cars, and even the cars are pretty old. Now let's continue with the walk around, turning the camera around it now. And again, you can see just how quiet and abandoned this town is. I'm not sure what the percentage of abandoned houses would be. I reckon it would be close to 20, maybe 30%, not sure. But plenty of abandonment in this town. And it's something that always surprises me because we are close to Madrid. I've mentioned this on other occasions. Madrid, what, 3 million people? Crowded, housing problems, lots of other problems as well, social problems. And then you come to places like this, only an hour away, and you find complete peace and tranquility and very few locals. And that's why people would come to live in a town like this, to escape the crowds, to escape the noise, and seek a more peaceful life. And they're certainly going to get it in a place like this. Now, there is the burnt out house again. We've done a circle around the town. So the fire that ripped through there earlier this year, there's a local here. Hola. And you can see the bars on the window that stopped the person from escaping, and he ended up with 40% of his body with second and third degree burns. An absolute shame, but that's the characteristic here. Bars on the windows. You can see there, bars, Bars on the window, bars, more bars there. You could probably escape from the top floor, jump, but if you're in your 70s, I don't know how successful you would be jumping. Now here's a bar. So there is another bar here, the Pheasant Bar, Bar La Perdiz. I'd go in there if I had some cash, but I've only got a card. And I would say that they don't accept cards. I went to a village the other day, or a small town the other day. I couldn't pay by card, so I had to send one of these fast transfers, what they call here Bizum. The only way that I could pay for my coffee, €1.60. More abandonment. So that is a vacant block there. Graffiti on the walls. This place here is abandoned too, I would say. What else? This place on the corner also. And this place here, probably there's somebody living in here, not sure. Another one of the locals. Hola. And here we have another bar, Bar Botija. So there is two bars here. Surprising. And I would say that they also sell food. You probably couldn't get a menu of the day, but they would have some type of local cuisine in there, no doubt. So yeah, my trip to this small town today coming to an end. So time to wrap this video up from the town of Valdaracete here in the Madrid community, and I hope you have enjoyed a glimpse into what the quieter life here in Spain looks like in one of these towns with only 600 people. You might have come to Spain, you might have gone to the coastal areas, the big cities as I mentioned before, but these smaller towns in Spain where you can still get a feel for what the authentic Spain is like, in my opinion, of course. There's no tourists here, there's no souvenir shops, only a few bars that we saw and some municipal services, so not much going on. And this is a place where things have not changed in decades, maybe even longer. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you have anything to add to the conversation today, please, the comment section is the place for you. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss a video like this one or other videos that I do. Until the next one, hasta luego from this small town here in Spain. Bye-bye.